Peace, world. I'm back with another live episode of Final Sound. Your host, the enlightened one, highly gifted, Dr. Wright. So I'm gonna do as I always do. I want to give a peace and power to everybody that support my platform. A salam to everybody throughout the world. Assalamu alaikum, so on and so forth. And I just want to thank everybody for their support overall on my platform, on my channel. I appreciate everybody's time, effort, and energy. And I'm gonna give people time to get in. Before I get into my topic, I'm gonna wait, as I always do, up until the 15-minute mark before I go in. However, I just want to thank everybody for their support and all the love they've been showing me on my platform. And anybody who watches the replays, I'm thankful for that. If you can, try to watch it all the way through so you can fully understand the goal and or the purpose of the live stream. So therefore, when you are watching it, if you watch pieces of it, you won't really grasp and get the total understanding of my content and what I do. So I would appreciate it if you could watch it from beginning to end. That would totally help. And for two, also, I want to thank everybody for their overall support for my platform in regards to my pre-recorded videos, my live streams, all my recent subscribers. Welcome to the Final Say TV family. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for all my new subscribers, and strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. And let's do some great things. Let's explore, the world, and let's get some better education, some higher learning, for all those out there who may need it. And also, on another note, and another aspect, I also want to send this to everybody. Try to take advantage of anything that I'm providing while I can. While my channel is not monetized, whether that's subscribing to my platform, whether that's subscribing to my music platform, taking me up on my healing experience, and so on and so forth. It's not that I'm looking forward to getting anything from anybody or out of anybody. I'm just putting that out there to try to take advantage of it while it's still free. The fourth thing is that overall, I'm very, very enthusiastic about where I'm going with my platform, how my page is growing, or my channel is growing on a daily basis. And I want to thank to everybody who share anything, who have gotten me subscribers over the last 2 to 3 months. You know what I mean? And also, I want to shout out to everybody who helped my platform. Tribulation Kids, Mary's Vlog, Real Talk with DJ, HBIC, Room Shaker. So I just want to send a shout out to everybody who have helped my platform. Lions Pride, my sister from the ATL, various different people. Fishing Time, Let's Go. It's a lot of different people that help my platform. The Information Man Show. It's a lot of people out there that help my platform. And if I didn't mention you, I apologize. However, I just want to shout like everybody out who has been helping my platform and who's been sharing my videos, and anybody else who I haven't said, that's not my moderators, who I haven't said. I apologize. It wasn't that I intentionally forgot you, but I just want to thank everybody who have helped me get to this point. And I see bigger and better things coming, a much more brighter future. And just overall, man, thank you to everybody from the bottom of my heart, from everybody at Final Say TV. We want to thank everybody who have, walked with me and been with me on this path and on this journey so far. Like I said, I'm gonna give people some time to check in. And if nobody don't check in once the 15-minute mark hit, I'm gonna go into protecting our spirit and our soul. I'm gonna explain various different ways to protect your spirit and your soul. I'm gonna do it collectively and I'm gonna do it individually. I'm gonna get into ways to just protect your spirit. I'm gonna get into ways to just protect your soul. Then I'm gonna get into ways collectively that you can protect your spirit and your soul together, on a unified level. Also, I want to put out there that, the more my platform grows, I'm going to, and I'm looking into ways to set up and find out how to set up a StreamYard. It's not as simple as I perceived it to be. So it's certain things I have to get connected to my laptop so I can do that. And when I do, I definitely gonna open up stream yards and have some open panels. I'm allowing some of my subscribers or other people that do chime in. I'm gonna let them come in and speak to me. I'm gonna speak to them. Once I set up that stream yard, I'm gonna interview some people. I'm gonna give people the same love they gave me by letting me come on their platform and allowing me to speak to their subscribers or speak on their platforms. I want to get that back to people as well. So, like I said, I'm gonna wait up until the 15-minute mark, and I'm gonna go in about what the title says. But I just wanted to shout out all those people, and I'm gonna tag majority of those people that I said for showing me all the love they showed me. Like I said, Tribulations Kids, um, Mary's Vlog. I just don't, I'm trying to remember everybody. Mary's Vlog, Real Talk with DJ, HBIC Room Shaker, Miss Queen. It's just been a lot of various different people who have been, sharing my content, Fishing Time, Let's Go. Just been a lot of various different people who have been helping me share my platform. Malik Dome. It's been a lot of people who have helped me, get to this point. And like I said, if I didn't mention you, I totally apologize. It's a lot of people, but that's why I gave you guys another shout out just to make sure if I didn't say you the first time around. And also the newcomers, so to speak, who have recently been helping me over the last 30 to 45 to 60 days. We appreciate it when I get your channel memorized. And the more you check in and chime in, I definitely I'll give you a shout out. And I'm gonna start doing that at the beginning of my live streams and towards the end of my live streams. I'm gonna start shouting out people where have showed me love and where I've done their thing. Yo, salute my brother. I just gave you a shout out maybe 2 minutes ago, for spreading love to my platform, for sharing my videos, for commenting. I appreciate it. Thanks for walking with me on this path and on this journey that I've been on. It's been a beautiful experience. And I just want to thank you for your tolerance, for your patience. Also, for your guidance and your leadership. Why I say your guidance and your leadership? Because your comments have guided me to be stronger on my channel. Your comments have guided me to be better leader on my platform. So I appreciate you for that, man. And yeah, I'm gonna support you anytime I'm free and the best way that I can, man. And I pray that you're in good spirits, you're in high spirits, and everything is right with you. I had a I don't know if you tuned into that particular live stream, but I had a Q&A live stream. You know what I mean? I think that would be very good if you go back and check that out. And also, since you tuned in now, if you got any particular questions you want to shoot my way, you know what I'm saying? I'm willing to answer a few questions. It don't matter what it's about. It could be about my platform. It could be about my music. It could be about my process with music, what I'm recording with, so on and so forth, how long I've been recording. It don't just have to be based around, just what I do on my platform. It could be based around my music because you have showed me abundances of love with my music, and I'm highly appreciative of that. And it was two people that I seen when I was on your community tab. I'm not sure who they are yet. One was a dude and one was a female. I subscribed to them. What's your take on the weapon and browser? Yeah. Oh, you browsing for a bow and arrow? Okay, well, before I answer that, like I said, I was on your community tab maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, even maybe a week or so ago, and I subscribed to a female, and I subscribed to a brother. I don't really know their names offhand, but I subscribed to them, because I seen you had them on your community tab. So I just wanted to let you know that. I let them know. I typed in on a community tab that I subscribe to their platforms. You know what I mean? Off the strength of you. You know what I mean? Nah, no problem. No problem at all. I just wanted to let you know that. So, what's my take on weapons? Just bow and arrows specifically, because that's what you type. Well, honestly, as long as you know how to use the bow and arrows correctly, I believe that it's a good weapon to have. I mean, it's not a firearm, so you might not have as much stipulations with having a bow and arrow. But if you really know how to use it, it'll be good. For example, maybe for your home or for your business. You know what I mean? Because I understand you're your own entrepreneur. So for your business, it would be good to have, in your arsenal. And like I said, the stipulations of you owning it or having it for business purposes or in your home might not be the same stipulations in reference to having a firearm. Definitely look into it before you purchase it, to find out, whatever city and or state you're in, that, the legal ramifications with having it. So therefore you would know. And if you are considering it, getting it or having it, definitely, just like with a firearm, you're going to work on using it, work on learning how to perfect using it and working it and so on and so forth. So therefore, should you have to use it, and on a protect yourself note, you don't really, do something where now, since you're protecting yourself, you really know how to do it. It's like having a firearm. A lot of times people that's really equipped and they're accustomed using a firearm, they know how to, lick warning shot, so to speak. It's about okay, no problem. So that's good that you're looking to do that. But like I was saying, if it's a firearm, some people know how to lick that warning shot. Not to hurt or to try to shoot nobody, but to lick that warning shot to let people know, look, I don't want no problems. You know what I'm saying? But I'm willing to do what I got to do to protect myself or my home or my business or my property. But that's good that you're looking into that and you see that's cheap and you're looking to arm yourself, the best way you can for you, your family, and or your situation and or your circumstances. That becomes very important. And also, I want to tell you, man to man about it. I'm respecting that because at least you're not thinking just like, the average citizen, like just a firearm. At least you're thinking about another means to protect yourself. Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. Machetes are great as well. You know what I mean? And just like the bow and arrow, machete, those are good for hunting as well. You know what I mean? Or if you in a hunting type of setting or environment, so to speak, like if you live by a lot of woods, you know what I'm saying? And now you could be out on a walk, you know what I mean, and you got a machete, to maybe you see a animal, a bear, a fox, anything like that, where you might not be trying to hurt the animal, but a weapon like that can get them off of your back, you know what I mean, and you can seek refuge by having them weapons to protect yourself. So that's good, and like I said, at least you're not doing what the typical citizen is doing, just looking into a firearm, and you're trying to find ways to be resourceful within your budget as well. So salute to you on that note. You know what I mean? And peace and power to you for trying to protect yourself the best way that you can and not doing it the way that everybody else is doing it. And that's another thing that I want to let you know that I appreciate about what you do. It's not typical. Like you don't do what other YouTubers do. Right, we all need to do so, right? But you don't do what typical YouTubers do. So that's another thing that I appreciate about you, and I respect, your angle. And another thing I appreciate about your platform is that you diverse, like you're willing to give various different people an opportunity to be seen and or heard, and you share various different content. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you see. Okay, nah, I respect that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's what you do. You diverse, like you let various different people, get an opportunity on your platform, and you share various different content. And, I appreciate that. I seen during Black History Month, like you were sharing a lot of prominent Black figures. I didn't comment on all of them that I seen, but majority of all of them that I seen, they all held some relevance, in reference to the culture and some of the information and education that I do is about some of those people. So I also want to salute you for that. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you for that as well. And like I said, just your platform overall, you show diversity. So, and like I said, you're willing to give various different people, including myself, an opportunity to be seen and or to be heard. So, if nobody else want to give you your flowers, You know what I'm saying? I definitely, don't mind doing that, man. And, keep your head up, stay motivated, stay encouraged, and keep doing what you do. I'm back. What's going on? I appreciate you. I'm back. Thanks for tuning in to the live stream. Nah, no problem, Malik. Thanks for tuning in to the live stream. Like, how you been? You know what? I'm thankful for you for tuning in to the live stream. I really, really need your support. You know what I mean? And I know you be extremely busy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful that you finally caught one of my live streams. And like I said, I really just overall, I just need your support. And also outside of needing your support, I need your guidance. I need you to let me know various things to do when I'm live. To keep my audience in tune, because on my platform I do a lot of education and motivational and information speaking. So you can help me out and tell me various things to do so I can kind of keep, my crowd coming, and I can kind of, broaden my audience. Because when I tune into you, even though I'm one of your members, when I tune into you, what you do is, you play music, you dance, and you do various different things to keep us coming. So, when you do get an opportunity, I would love for you to tell me some things to do to help, bring more people in and to broaden my audience now that I'm going live. Because, at one point I wasn't even going live. So I'm very I'm thankful for everything that you have done for my platform. I gave everybody a shout out earlier. I didn't give you a shout out, so now I'm gonna do that. Also I want to shout out Beck. She has helped my platform grow to where it is today. She have helped me out a lot. She's been teaching me a lot, and I appreciate her guidance, her patience, and her preparation. With getting me subscribers, with sharing my content, with sharing my videos, and she's been very inspirational for what I've been doing on my platform and on my channel. So I want to thank her for that. And another thing, Beck, I don't have a lot set up as far as my page yet. Like, I don't have the live button, I don't have the clap button. Like, it's things that I don't have yet. So only thing I could do is what I'm doing now. I could just do a lot of talking. I can't. I mean, I could type in the chat, obviously, but I can't. I don't have a lot of things connected to my laptop where I can give you a round of applause for coming. Or I could hit the live button. It's like so that's why I kind of need your guidance a little bit more, so you could tell me what to do. So therefore, when people like yourself and my other brother that's in the chat right now, Melek, I can know how to salute you guys. Besides saying welcome to the live stream, it's certain things that I can do. For certain people that come into my live streams, so they could know that I know that you guys are there, without me always saying what I say. I want to work on other methods to show, my subscribers and people that help my platform grow to where it is. There's other ways that I want to speak to you guys besides just verbally speaking. And like I said, I don't really know how to do too much. So that's what I kind of need your guidance for on Beck, to kind of show me, what to do and how to do certain things, definitely on my device. And I have a laptop. So that would be something that, when you get some time, you don't have to be in this particular stream, but when you get some time, or when I come to your platform, you can let me know certain things to do. So therefore I could, speak to my audience in various different ways. That would be very helpful. But overall, I'm very appreciative for you checking into the live stream, and your support is highly needed. So from everybody at Final Say, we really appreciate you. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm feeling good, guys. I just wanted to do a live stream tonight to see how many people I can get to check in, and God bless everybody, and I pray that everybody is healthy. I pray that everybody's happy. I pray that everybody is ready for the week ahead, and they got enough sleep, they got enough rest for the time, because time have went up all throughout the world. Good evening, Carla. I appreciate you for checking in. You know what I mean? I got Melik out there. I have Ombek out there. Ombek have really helped me a lot with my channel. Prior to me getting it to where it is, she helped me a lot with my platform, and I just was speaking to her, you know, trying to see if she can help me, speak to various different people that may chime in to my platform, because I don't really know how to do much. Like, I don't even know how to set up a StreamYard totally. I'm learning, and I'm learning that there's other things that I have to get and connect to my laptop so I can set up a StreamYard. And then I'm aware that I have to pay for a StreamYard as well, which is not an issue. But I didn't know that I just thought that came with the bigger my platform got. But now I'm learning is wires and other things that I got to buy. So where I have the Wi-Fi box is in a different section of the house. So now I have to get enough wiring to stretch it out, and I got to make sure I set everything up correctly. So therefore, when I do everything right, I could open up the StreamYard. I could invite, guests like my brother Melik on the panel, on back. I could invite you up, Carla, Frank, my brother Tribulation Kids, HBIC, Room Shaker, let me see, my sister from the ATL, Lions Pride. I mean, there's various different people, that I just want to invite on the panel. Miss Queen. It's a lot of different people that been showing me love, and I just want to set up that StreamYard so I can give the love back because people have been allowing me on their channels and on their platform. So the least I could do outside of giving people their flowers is at the end of the day invite them on the panel and on a live stream. And not only will I appreciate talking to them and picking their brain, but I also can promote their platforms and promote their channels. You know what I mean? And now I can find out other ways to use the StreamYard, from other people that's been using their StreamYard. They can let me know various different things to do. So that's something else that I want to get into and I want to venture into. You know what I mean? So what's going on with you, Carla? Like, how you doing, sister? I pray that all is well with you and in your situation and or your circumstances. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm back. Again, if you're still there, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you have done, you're willing to do, and maybe you'll do in the future for me. I really appreciate that, sincerely and dearly. And thanks for stopping by the live stream. I appreciate your time. For real, for real. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I have who I have in. I'm okay. Oh, no, no problem. So I have who I have in the building. So you guys seen the title and description, ways to protect our spirit and our soul. So first, I want to get into protecting your spirit. One of the first things you want to do when you protecting your spirit is that you don't want to allow somebody to get you out of character. You know what I mean? And how you do that is you stay true to yourself. And a lot of times when you stay true to yourself, you don't let somebody get you out of character. And when I say get you out of character, we have the tendency at times getting out of character by allowing somebody to tell us something about us. And like I always say, and I've been saying, we know ourselves better than anybody else. So sometimes we can make a statement and somebody could take that statement the way they want to take it. You know what I mean? Instead of perceiving it the way you said it. And they don't want to ask a question or questions for clarification purposes to say, well, what did you mean? And you might could say, man, you know what? Man, that's why I don't like talking to people. You know what I mean? They could be like, I don't like talking to people either. Now, instead of finding out really what you meant, y'all end up arguing. So at the end of the day, some people like to not ask questions for clarification purposes. Me, I'll ask a question. I'll say, well, what did you mean when you say you don't like talking to people? And some people be like, man, that's why I don't be on the internet, man. Everybody ignorant or everybody knows you. Everybody always hating. And it's like, well, can you elaborate on that? Instead of me, even if the person could be talking about me directly or indirectly, I'd be like, can you elaborate on that? Like, what did you mean by that? You know what I mean? So a lot of times we don't really like to ask the necessary questions so we can get clarity on the circumstance and or situation. Like I always say, it's easy to attack someone or to attack something. You know what I mean? It's harder to do the homework and the research on something because now we got to put ourselves to work, and we don't want to work in real life, meaning at our jobs and whatever we do, to earn our living. And it's not, I'm not saying that like in a bad way, but that's just the reality of it. And we all could just lay up, put our feet up, and just get paid to do that. Who in the world wouldn't want to do that? So I'm saying, like, in that aspect, so who's gonna want to do work when it comes to finding out various different things to find out about various different things. So what I mean by that is if you got to do work to find out what somebody meant, people ain't gonna want to do that. Like you ain't gonna the other person that you may ask, they may not want to give you the clarity, or they may not know how to express themselves and give you the proper clarity that you're looking for without you guys having a further complication or further argument. People will always attack something different as well. Yes, yes, and I have no issue with that. However, what I'm saying is that when people attack things different, all I'm saying is that people can't project what they want somebody to say to them, what they want it to mean to them. So it's like I used to watch sports just to watch sports. And at one point when I used to watch sports, I was around people and they'd be like, man, I like Jordan, or I like Bird, or I like Magic, or I like Kobe, or I like LeBron, or whatever they saying. And that leads to another whole can of worms, because it's like if I just say, okay, well, I don't like players, I just like the team. Because even though you may say Jordan is better than LeBron, for example, that's going to open up another can of worms. Now, me, I just look at it like this. Unless it's an individual sport, I'm gonna say they both putting in work for their team to be successful. Somebody else may say, man, you just saying that. You know, Michael Jordan really better than LeBron. It's like, nah, but saying they both got to put in work for the team to be successful. Now, if that's not true, let me know that. But don't tell me that, well, at the end of the day, I'm saying, Bird is better than. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they both got to put in work for the team to be successful. That's what I see. Like that, so it don't matter, for example, like being on the internet. Somebody got 1 million subscribers and somebody got 50,000 subscribers. That don't mean that that person is a better YouTuber than them. That just means they have a bigger platform than them. But when you look at sports, we do it in that context that how I just broke that down. So it's like right now, since LeBron has the most points out of anybody in the NBA, does that make him the best player of all time? No, but people are going to say, but he got more points than anybody. Okay, that means he just scored more than anybody. That don't make him the best player of all time. Just because set player got the most touchdowns, that don't mean that they're the best quarterback or the best running back or the best. That don't mean that. You got to base everything off circumstances and situations. When somebody did something, you know what I mean? What it was based around. So if it's like boxing, so if that's the case with boxing, that means Mayweather got to be the best boxer. He never lost. But somebody may say, nah, he ain't better than Ali. He ain't better than Tyson. He ain't better than Sugar Ray Leonard. He ain't better than Marvin Hagler. Somebody may tell me that at the end of the day. So it's hard to base things off just what we want to base it off a lot of times. So that's why I like to do homework and research so I can really dig deep into what it is at the end of the day. Because if we just look at it on the surface, we're going to always debate and argue. And a lot of times when we do that, another things that happens is people perpetuate, like if me and you having a conversation, Malik, we may get compassionate about whatever we're talking about. Now, if it's an outsider looking in that don't know us or don't know how compassionate we may get about whatever we're talking about, they may think we arguing because you getting compassionate and I'm getting compassionate because we both care about what we're talking about. So now somebody be like, oh, here they go. They getting loud or they getting hype or they arguing. It's not that. It's like you just compassionate about what you're saying. I'm compassionate about what we're saying. But like I said, if they don't know us or know what we're talking about or know our relationship or know how we speak, like, look at all those things I said. They don't know us. They don't know how we speak. They don't know our relationship. And they don't know how compassionate we get about what we're talking about. That's 4 factors I just brought into a situation, even if we're getting kind of loud or even if it seemed like we arguing with each other. So that's what I mean by people got to understand why doing homework and doing research is so important. And when you protect your spirit and or your soul, but I was on the spirit aspect. When you protect your spirit, you can't let nobody get in front of that because you know spiritually where you at the end of the day. So it don't matter how calm or how hyped up somebody is, you still know, man, I'm good. I'm good where I'm at with my spirit. So no matter what this person say to me, I'm good. You know what I mean? And when you protecting your soul, you're not gonna let somebody say something that's gonna attack your spirit so it can get to you internally in your soul. It's like people say, man, that wasn't sitting right on my soul because you let something get the best of you. It's like we all have a certain emotion that could be touched and tapped with certain things in life, with music, with food, with jewelry, with clothes, with cars, with movies, with relationships, with family members, with children, with our job, or with whatever position that we hold in life. So once somebody's able to tap into that, now they can get the best of your spirit and or your soul. So if you protect your spirit and your soul from the beginning by doing the right necessary homework and research on various different situations and circumstances, then it would be like, you know what? It ain't even like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, somebody can have 1 million subscribers, somebody else can have 100,000 subscribers. That don't mean that person is a better YouTuber. They're just a bigger YouTuber. That don't mean that they better. You know what I mean? And the person that got 1 million subscribers or the person that got 100,000 subscribers could be very content with that 100,000. They're like, yo, I'm good with this 100,000. If I don't ever get no more, I'm good. And the person with 1 million could be like, man, I ain't got enough subscribers. I need more. So it all depends on what aspect you're looking at it from. That's why God made us all unique, so we can have our own aspect, how we see things. But when you do homework and research, you start seeing things from all aspects. So now you don't come into a situation naive. So that's why I tell people when they speak to me, I'm listening. You know why I'm listening? Because I'm listening with my brain so I could be open-minded, because you hear with your ear. That's why that old saying will always resonate with me. It go in one ear and out the other, because people hearing me, but I need people to listen. When people speak to me, I be listening. When my family call me, I be on the phone with them, or I speak to people and they be talking and they be like, hello. I'll be like, yeah, I'm here. They be like, but you ain't saying nothing, because I'm listening. You told me to listen. So if I'm listening, I ain't got nothing to say. You're going to hear crickets. You're going to hear everything in my background because I have nothing to say. You know why? Because facts now again. I'm gonna let you speak through and through. So when I give you my interpretation of what you're saying, or I give you feedback based on what you're saying, or I give you my knowledge based on what you said, I listen to everything you said. I did not cut you off. I did not intervene, because I don't need that person to lose their train of thought. And now they're gonna lose their train of thought. I sidetracked them by one, not giving them what they asked for, the patience to listen to them. So now I'm gonna listen. So that's why people talk to me. It's like I be listening. I'll be like, now I'm listening. And I'll just sit there and remain patient and get quiet so I can give them what's due to them. And if my time is limited, I'm gonna say, yo, try to make it short, sweet, or try to cut it down. I ain't got an hour to talk to you. I got 10 minutes. So, or I got a half an hour. So now they understand, okay, whatever we're gonna talk about, the conversation probably can't get as deep. And if it's gonna get that deep, I believe with the correct communication, they're gonna say, you know what? Now I can't talk to you about that right now because you ain't got the time, or I ain't got the time. But I can speak to you about this right now because this conversation may take 10 minutes. If it goes a little further than that or get a little deeper than that, we continue it another day. But what's your perspective on this? Or how you see this? Or you be telling me you do a lot of homework, you do a lot of research, what's going on with this? So at the end of the day, when you're protecting your spirit and your soul, you don't let things like that ruffle your feathers or get under your skin or get the best of you, because you know where you at in regards to your spirit and your soul. And two, another thing is that, like I always say, we got to start seeing the best version of ourselves that God has set for us. A lot of times, why we are unable to protect our spirit and our souls is because we seeing what's best for us, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, when you get on a certain path and journey with God, you have to let God align your spirit and your soul so God can guide you the correct way. Because until you get on that certain path and that journey with God, it's not wrong with guiding and preparing yourself to be aligned with God. But once you become aligned, now you got to let God guide you the rest of the way or the rest of those steps. So now when God guides you, you'll be fine at the end of the day, because God will never give us something we are unable to handle. Like once I learned that, I had to let go of a lot of things and let God handle it. So, like I said, even if I went through circumstance situation with people that I love, that I care about, children, family, friend, foe, it didn't matter. It's just at the end of the day, I had to let go and let God. Why I had to let go and let God? Because now I'm understanding when God is in control, it don't matter if my own kids think I don't love them. Like God said it best. It's better that a man is not accepted by the world as long as they're accepted by me. So I agree with that. As long as I'm accepted by God, it don't matter if my whole family despises me. It doesn't matter, because God runs God runs the universe at the end of the day. Like I said, mankind and civilization may run the world. I can't knock that. But God runs the universe, and the universe is bigger than the world. The earth is just a planet. The universe is everywhere at the end of the day. So if people are going to hate me, my family, my mother, my father, my kids, whoever, no problem. As long as I'm accepted by God, I'm good. Because I know at the end of the day, one way or another, we all gonna have to deal with God. See, it's so real when you get on a certain path and a journey with God, with your spirit and or your soul. You don't know how your spirit and your soul got aligned with God. Only God knows that. That's the power of God. It's like I ask people all the time. Well, if we believe that God is not great, who do we know in our lifetime while we living and breathing that could create something that could project light throughout the world and heat, which is the sun? God created the sun. We know that mankind can never make it to the sun because we know it projects too much rays and too much heat and too much light. So we either gonna get blinded before we get there or we gonna burn up. That's God's word. Because if a man could create the sun, I know that man will be destined to make it to the sun. That's one place man never try to go, to the sun. Because they get it at the end of the day. Like they're gonna try to go to other planets and the moon and all that, but they know not to try to go to the sun because that's outside of human beings. That's one of God's greatest creations. See, I'm learning that by letting my soul and my spirit be connected to God. That I'm learning that a person, scientist, archaeologist, whatever we gonna call them, they're unable to duplicate the sun. And like I said, God has created that to project heat and light throughout the world. That's factual, like heat and light throughout the world. So right now, where I'm at, Eastern Standard Time, it may be dark, but it's another part of the world that is sun and it's heat from the sun in another part of the world right now. Thanks to the greatness of God making that happen. Now, mankind and civilization may have altered how the sun could project heat and project the sunlight and rays, etc., and so on and so forth, and or light. Okay, I could accept that, but God created it. Man may have altered it, yes, but God has created it. So when your spirit and your soul starts to become one with God, you start to accept and understand things like that. So it's hard for your spirit and your soul to be altered by things that don't mean nothing that man has created to alter your thinking. To tap into that emotion I said that comes through with food, with clothes, with money, with cars, with jewelry, with movies, with family, with kids, etc., so on and so forth. When you get on a certain alignment with God, it doesn't even matter because now you understand that God will not put you in a situation you are unable to deal with. Like we try to take it away from God and deal with everything on our own. And that's when we get bumps in the road and we don't really see it as a bump in the road. It's like I said before in my other live stream. When God was holding my hand, I used to yank my hand away and try to run around the hurdles and the obstacles instead of jumping over the hurdle and the obstacles. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna attack this hurdle, but I'm gonna run top speed and jump over it. And sometimes I might have to slow down because it might be 2 or 3 hurdles lined up consecutively. So if I take my time and slow down, I can really jump over all 3 hurdles that's gonna be there with the help of God. But a lot of times be like, man, I could do this myself. You know what I mean? So that's why I truly believe that with us protecting our spirit and or our soul, and we get on a certain alignment with God, we could see things that other people won't never be able to see because God will lift the blindfold from in front of you and you can see things. That's why I said as long as God can shed light on what's dark, I'm going to be able to see. It's like me going to the doctor. I don't go to the doctor with the same perspective that I used to because my spirit and my soul is protected by God. So they say, for example, when the pandemic was out here, you got to take this vaccine. I said, no, I don't got to take the vaccine. And I said, and if you think I have to take it, what you going to have to do for me, you're going to have to tell me everything that's in that vaccine. Once you tell me you don't know, I'm not taking it. And another thing you got to do for me, I want to see you and every other doctor in this facility take the vaccine. Like, if you could do that for me, then I'm going to take it. And I ain't got no problem with it. Not saying I have a problem with the vaccine. No, but I'm saying it's things like that. It's just like if something wrong with me and they prescribe medication for me, I say, well, what's getting me to feel better? This medication or the fact that you're a doctor and you know what to give me because I don't feel good? because it ain't you and the medication. It's one or the other. It can't be you and the medication, because if it was you, I don't think you would give me medication. You'll just tell me what to do. So it have to be you doing what I could do. I could do some homework, I could do some research, and I could read into looking into if something wrong with my kidneys, what I could do to possibly help my kidneys feel better, or help my lungs feel better, or help my liver feel better, or whatever my body part is. I'm not saying that doctors can't help me, but what they telling me, I can ask them, well, I ain't trying to be funny, doc, what books you been reading? You know what I mean? Like, I'll go buy those books. I might not go through the same college courses you've been through. That's a fact. But the fact is, too, though, that I could, those same books that you reading still or read, I can go purchase those books, or I could pull them up online. So where I could go to Barnes and Nobles, I could take one day out the week and go to Barnes and Nobles every day and read those same books. I could do that and say, you know what? Doctor said he was reading this. Let me read this. You know what I mean? And now I could study and I could learn. And like I said, I may not know it to the level that they know it or they learned it, but that don't mean that I can't learn it to the best of my ability and the best of my knowledge. And with God removing that shield that was in front of my eyes, God can help me see better. And now I can see a little bit better. Like I said, it's 100,000 ways to get an answer. So my answer ain't just the end all be all. So like I said, I could ask Malik. I could say, yo, Malik, how you get 15? He could say 9 plus 6. I could ask Carla. She could say 10 plus 5. I could ask somebody else. They could say 12 plus 3. Look at all these ways I'm bumping into 15. Just because that one person gave me how to get 15, that don't mean that that's the end all be all to my answer. And I can get, it's other ways to get an answer. So just because the doctor say, well, you got the flu, we'll take this, and you should feel better in 3 weeks. Okay, if you give me that and I ain't feeling better, I'm gonna have to go back, right? So why I just can't keep going to do homework and research, so therefore I ain't got to keep running back. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I could go back, but I could go back and say, Doc, I was reading up on that medication you gave me. That ain't work for me. Maybe because, my immune system, it didn't do nothing for my immune system. You know what I'm saying? Or my immune system couldn't digest that liquid you gave me, or them pills you gave me, or whatever it was. And they could be like, okay, well, let me see what I gave you. And they're going to have to do what I got to do. They're going to have to look it up, do homework, and do research. That's the same thing they're doing. They just got a license to do it on a larger scale than I do. That's all they got. That's what they got over me. They have a license to do it on a larger scale than I do. And then they have a connection with with people who legally can give people drugs, which is called a pharmacy or a pharmacist. They just can legally give you drugs. That don't mean that those legal drugs they give you are actually going to work for you or beneficial for you or for your body or for your immune system. But since it's legal, we just accept it and we believe that. So why I can't do homework and research on that? And I don't have a problem with no doctors in the world. I don't have no problems with no pharmacists or pharmacies in the world. But I'm just saying, if we go back to holistic ways of taking care of ourselves, because before it was any sort of medical doctors, it was plants that you can take that can heal your body if something was wrong with you at one point in time. We may not remember that because of where we are today with civilization and with mankind. And I'm thankful for the transitions we have made with medicine and other various different things and foods and various different health things to keep our bodies right. But I'm saying it was a point that we can actually take a plant, and there's certain plants in certain countries to this day that you could take if something wrong with you, and that plant will have you feeling better. And that's a fact from me doing homework and research. That's a fact that it's certain places in the world, certain plants in India or Indonesia or Africa or certain parts of the globe that you can go to, and they have certain different plants and or remedies that's not medication that can heal you if something is wrong with you. And it's not based off what a doctor told you to take and or prescribe for you. And again, I have no problem with no doctors, because everybody know I don't take shots at people on my platform. But I'm saying, when you're protecting your spirit and or your soul, and God lifts that veil from in front of your eyes, and you start doing homework and research, you start to see more because God shows you more. And God now walks with you and say, okay, well, if you study up on this, you might not know everything about it, but you know enough where now I can have the conversation with a doctor. I can have a conversation with somebody in a certain profession. At the end of the day, I might not know how to build a house, but now that I know how to lay bricks, I could talk to a person that build houses. I could go to a construction site and say, well, I know how to lay bricks. I know how to put up sheetrock. So now they can be like, okay, well, you got some of the basics now. Now, if you find out how to do this, you can build your own house because I know how to lay bricks and I know how to put sheetrock down. You know what I mean? But if I just be like, man, I don't know how to do this, I already defeated myself. And God don't want us to defeat ourselves. That's why he put various different things in motion for us. So we can go out there and seek the best version of ourselves. And then when we become the best version of ourselves, God put more hands around us. He put a bigger force field around us because he know now we need to be more protected away from things that's not in our best interest no more at the end of the day. Because it's like, you know what? All right, you found that out. I'm gonna do this. So now you could be protected better. Your spirit could be protected better. Your soul could be protected better. Because once your spirit and your soul is protected, God will definitely keep a hand in your life. God will make sure that the way you walking, that he's like, all right, well, all right, make a left now. Okay, make a right now. Go straight for the next 3 miles. And now I start following the footprints that God have laid down for me. Nobody else could see them. I could see them, but I start following the footprints that God have laid down for me. Now, like I said, I see things that other people don't see. I sense things other people don't sense. I hear things other people don't hear. I smell things other people don't smell. You know what I mean? Like I'm in tune with other things that people ignore at the end of the day. So it's various different ways that, once you get your soul and your spirit connected to various different aspects of the universe, it opens up for you. And like I said, all you have to do is work on protecting it from things that's beneath you, the things that's not on the same frequency as you, things that's not on the same vibe as you. You know what I mean? And we all have a certain frequency in our body. Okay, for people to be like, well, what that got to do with your spirit and or your soul? This is me going into the next aspect of it. It's like when you wash clothes, you can get a static from if you don't put fabric softener on your clothes because we have certain amount of energies that come from our body, and that's a frequency, that energy that God has given us. So now if your energy is always low, you're going to always be at a low frequency. And it's not that God don't want to walk with you or God don't see that, but you have to up your vibe. You have to up your frequency. Excuse me, you have to up your vibe, up your frequency. So God now could show you how to protect your spirit and your soul. And now when your spirit and your soul get protected, God could show you more. God could walk with you more. It's not that God's not going to walk with you at all, but more. You know what I mean? The more God with us, the more we can see, the better we preparated for things that's yet to come. That's why death always takes us by surprise because our spirit and our soul isn't right. And then psychologically and or mentally, we not preparated to deal with it because we don't know what's yet to come. I'm gonna say that again. We know what we know, but we don't know what's yet to come. We know death is inevitable, but we don't know what's yet to come with death. So now at the end of the day, we fearing that. We fearing like, damn, man, I know this day was bound to come for such and such and such, or even for ourselves. But since we're not psychologically and mentally prepared for it, and then our spirit and our soul ain't right, how we gonna deal with it when it comes to family members or people we love or people we grew up with or friends or co-workers or people in life in general? And we fear that because we don't know what's yet to come. So once we now get our spirit and our soul awakened to the point where we can see everything, becomes an afterthought. For one, because our spirit and our soul is right. For two, because we know it's inevitable. And that's why God is great, because for some apparent reason, we all have to get a go at this. So it can't be that bad that he made every person get a go at it. And once I looked at it from that perspective, that opened up my spirit and my soul. Like, you know what? But it can't be that bad. Everybody got to get a go at it. We don't know when or how. And that's the greatness of God keeping us in that suspense again, because if we know when, let alone how, we're going to be chasing death now. Like, I'm trying to prevent death day from coming. So that's why God, like, you know what? Now I'm gonna prevent everybody from knowing when or how at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And now with that prevention, we don't have to live our life worrying about damn when I'm gonna die or how I'm gonna die, because all we're gonna do is live trying to prevent it. Live trying to prevent it. So if you get your spirit and your soul connected, you're gonna embrace it. And God, like, all right, well, this is another one that whose spirit and soul is aligned and they ready for it. So when it happens, now since we don't know where our spirit and our soul go, we don't know what God gonna do with our spirit and or our soul. Just because we might not be physically being able to see and heard and touch things, we don't know what our spirit could do. We don't know what our soul will be alive to do. We don't know that. We don't know if God takes us all the way to the essence and see how everything was created. Man, woman, the planet, the stars, the solar system, and so on and so forth. We don't know that. That might be what our soul and our spirit could do. See how everything was created, and that might take an eternity for God to show us that. We don't know that. We have no idea. We have no clue. But at the end of the day, we so caught up in things that's not, serving our best purpose at the end of the day. So we get nearsighted on the things like that when it comes to us looking at those particular things. And at the end of the day, it's like, man, I don't even worry about things that get me nearsighted no more. I just try to stay involved and stay connected and have my spirit and my soul right, so God could keep me moving forward. You know what I mean? So God could have my vision looking straight ahead. And like I said, if I have to make any detours, God gonna guide me through it. And if anybody, try to distract me or try to deter me, I just pray that God could guide me and keep my spirits high, keep my vibes high, and keep my soul where it need to be. That's it. That's why it's that old saying about people selling their souls. You know what I mean? And that's why people say, when people sell their soul, that they because I want to say this correct because I am on the internet. So when people sell their soul, they saying people be under satanic attack at the end of the day, and nobody wants to be caught being under a satanic attack. You know what I mean? So now, if you're under satanic attack, God ain't got nothing to do with that because you was unable to control your own spirit and your own soul. You know what I mean? God is going to help you once you get control of it, but you have to control it. That's why he gave everybody their own spirit and their own soul so they could control it. And once you get control of it, now God can say, all right, you have better control of your spirit and your soul. Now I can preparate you. Now I can guide you. But a lot of people sell their soul and they give their spirit up for things that's beneath their spirit and or their soul. So at the end of the day, it's like, wow. So that's why God is unable to walk with people on certain paths and certain journeys because they done gave up their soul. You know what I mean? And they spirit and they vibes ain't high with their spirit at the end of the day. So when I talk about protecting your spirit and protecting your soul, this is deep, people. It takes a lot to stay on cue and really learning how to see through things so you can keep your spirit protected, so you can keep your soul protected. Like, everybody can't do that. That's not for everybody. That's for a chosen few people. And I'm not saying that God only select those people, but you have to select yourself for that because when you protect your own spirit and you protect your own soul, like I said, that's when God could kick in. But if you sell your soul, how you gonna protect your spirit? Like, you need your spirit and your soul to be alive. You just can't have your spirit and no soul. You just can't have your soul and no spirit. You need both. Some people just think, all right, I'm good. I got my soul and their spirit is off. No, you need both to be right. Or some people just feel like, you know what, I got my spirit. I ain't worrying about my soul. You need both. Like, they both have to connect. They both have to be aligned. You know what I mean? For you to get the best version of yourself, for God to guide you the rest of the way. You know what I mean? And that's important. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but we ignore that for various different reasons. You know what I mean? And again, it's not personally that we ignore it, and it's not personally that it get ignored, but we ignore it for various different reasons. So at the end of the day, you know, it's time for us to start taking our spirit back, and it's time for us to keep our soul intact. Like, how you take your spirit back because you get your spirit not connected to things no more. Like I said, clothes, TV shows, materialistic things. You know what I mean? Certain people that you may be loving, but you gotta love yourself more to learn how to leave certain situations with people alone. And they may look at you differently, or they may look at you funny. That's here nor there. You know what I mean? But once you take your spirit away from it and you keep your vibration high, it don't even matter. Because people are going to speak about you doing good or you doing bad. It doesn't even matter. God just want to see you be the best version of yourself. That's it. People, they might not know what version of you they want to see you be. Because people want to control people for who they want them to be. And they're not even looking at controlling themselves. Like, I want to control myself. I ain't worried about controlling anything or anybody else. As long as I can control me and my spirit, my soul right, I'm thankful for that. You know what I mean? And I just pray that everybody else is working on getting their spirit and their soul right, because that's important at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, you know, another way you work on protecting your spirit and your soul is have belief in God or the Most High or the Elohim or Yahweh or Yahshua or Allah. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody stop you from believing in whatever you see or feel that is the higher power. You know what I mean? Whatever that might be. You know, people get sidetracked by that. You know what I mean? And religion has something to do with that at times, because people say, well, if this say that, why is this that? And it's going to always be a contradiction somewhere. But this is what I'm learning and starting to experience more. The Most High or God or Elohim or Yahweh or Allah or whatever we going to say that we look at God as ain't no contradiction. You know what I mean? And a lot of times when we get into a lot of these religious books, I understand that uh, um, hypocritical things come out of it, or things that come out of it that make you go, I really don't know if this is true or this is real. So all you got to do is keep the faith in God. And when you do that and you got your spirit and your soul right, everything else will start to fall in place for you, and you'll start to see things more clearer. And like I said, whatever's dark, it'll bring more light to be brought to the circumstances and the situation. I mean, I was in a lot of places that was very dark, and I didn't believe where I'm at today I could get there. But me having the faith, however, it started with me getting my spirit and my soul intact. Like, it starts with that. We just think God got us. You need your spirit and your soul to be intact for God to have you, though, because like I said, you need both. And if one is off, you got to work on getting them both aligned. They don't have to be even, but they just got to be aligned. So God can see, all right, you got control of your own spirit. You got control of your own soul. All right. Now I can start guiding you. I can start walking with you. I can start preparing you for bigger and better things and for greatness. You know what I mean? That's why I named my album Greatness on Display, because I wanted to display that I was on a certain trajectory with my music. And now that I spoke to God about it, now I can display greatness without making other people feel bad. You know what I mean? Based around my own selfishness or based around my own misery. Even if majority of the things that I was saying at one point, even if I had a harsh upbringing or I was living a certain way or I was in the street or whatever I was doing, that ain't got nothing to do with the way I presented it to the world. So now I wanted to represent my own music and myself with my music. And I'm thankful that I spoke to God about it. And I didn't worry about what people would say, how they would feel, how they would come at me, and so on and so forth. I just did my thing. And I let it play out how God seen it was going to play out. And now that I got my music up there, I feel good about it. It's not about views. It's not about clickbait. It's about the fact that I got some good music out there, and I put it out there because it came from a good, sincere place. That's what mattered to me. Anything else, I ain't worried about. Now, if I'd have just put it out there and it been from a bad place, now I got to worry about that same energy coming back to me. And now that I know I put it out there and it came from a good place, I know I'm gonna get the good energy to come back, and somebody's gonna recognize it for what it is and what it's worth and what it's about. It's about greatness on display. Somebody's gonna acknowledge it and see it as so. They're gonna be like, yo, you know what, yo, I respect what you did, yo. I appreciate your music, yo. Thanks, man. You know, that song got me through this, or that song got me through that. You know what, yo, you gave me a different outlook on music. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, you know what? Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And one person could tell me that out of 10 million. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. Because when God sent us prophets in the beginning, they don't always get acknowledged by the people. It takes time. They got to keep working. They got to keep doing what they're doing. Because God knows that they're going to be overlooked. Because God is tested every day. God is challenged every day by various different people. So that's why people don't like when you bring up God, you bring up the Most High, you bring up the Elohim, because they're not used to that. They're used to their spirit being connected to things that's not godly. They used to selling their soul for things that God didn't have nothing to do with. Like I said, materialistic things. It was one point that we just wore cloth and not clothes. I'm gonna say that again. It was one time we just wore cloth and not clothes. So now if you look at clothes, people willing to sell themselves for clothes. People willing to sell their soul for jewelry, for cars, for sports, for various different things. People willing to sell their soul for that. So if you want to sell your soul, your spirit ain't gonna never be right. And if you okay, if you're not willing to sell your soul, your spirit ain't right because your spirit is connected to things that got nothing to do with what God put us here for or what God got us around for. You know what I mean? And once you get on that path, God's gonna do the rest. But you have to have your spirit and you have to have your soul aligned. Like I said, it don't gotta be even, but it just gotta be right at the end of the day. And if it ain't right, then what you want God to do? Like you gotta have that. That's why everybody have their own spirit and their own soul at the end of the day. That's why it's important. When they say, well, don't sell your soul because now once you sell your soul, you on your own. Because how can God do anything when you sold your soul? That's all you got. And if your spirit ain't right, then that's all you got. So you need both of them things to be intact for God to start walking with you and guiding you down the correct path. I had to learn that because even though I never sold my soul for anything, my spirit wasn't right. So I had to get my spirit together. And now I'm learning. The more I was getting my spirit together, I was starting to see that my soul was still intact. But if I would have sold my soul, it don't matter where I would have got my spirit because I sold my soul. But since I never sold my soul for things and I got my spirit intact, now God could walk with me. God could hold my hand and say, you know what, I got you. Let's go this way. Let's do this. Let's do that. I'm gonna show you how this. I'm gonna show you how this operate. I'm gonna show you how this works. I'm gonna give you the keys to do this. I'm gonna give you the right energy to see this for what's this worth. And now I don't have to question nothing. I just go with the flow. You know what I mean? And I don't worry about what it ain't. I know what it is. What it ain't. So it ain't that. Okay, fine, no problem. But what it is will always mean more to me than what it ain't. It's like what I have mean more to me than what I don't have. What I don't have is what I don't have. Right now, it ain't meant for me to have it. No problem. But when I do get it, will I do the right things with it? Will I be fruitful with it? Like that, those are things I think about. But if your spirit ain't right, you're just gonna be like, oh, I got this. And I ain't worrying about what nobody else ain't got. Oh, I got this. And people, they got less than me. That's why they mad at me, or that's why they hating on me. Now, I understand that a lot of people didn't see me coming who I was becoming. So now that I'm becoming a different person and I'm on a certain path with God, it's acceptable that maybe they look down on me or they don't like me or whatever it is. But for people to look down on me because I have materialistic things, I ain't worried about that because I'm not in this for materialism though. I'm in this to be one with God. That's what's important to me. And if people gonna look down on me because I'm one with God, that's on them. That's something they gotta live with. I ain't gotta live with that because I'm not gonna look up or down on nobody that's looking to be one with God. I'm not saying I'm looking down on people or up to people that have materialism, but I'm saying for me, I ain't worrying about that. And whatever I don't have, I don't have. But what I do have, I'm thankful for. And from my perspective, it was meant for me to have it. That's what God seen me have it. So if I don't have a house, it ain't meant for me to have it right now. You know what I mean? If I ain't got nowhere to live, it ain't meant for me to have nowhere to live. You know what I mean? If I ain't got money at certain times of the month, or if I'm broke, that's what it's meant for me to be at the time. But when I get money, will I do the right thing? Not only for myself, but for those that God bring amongst me to say, well, they don't got it. You got $20. They got zero. What you gonna do? You gonna be fruitful and say, hey, go $1. That I could have $20 to somebody else. I could be filthy rich. I give somebody else $1. How do I know how I change their thought process? How I know what part of their spirit I touch by saying, yo, I ain't got much, but here go a slice of pizza. Or here go a bag of chips, or here go water, or here go juice. Or stop and talking to them and like, you know what, God I love you. You know what I mean? Just try to work on getting your spirit right, or try to get your soul together. How do I know what that may have done for that person, for their spirit and or their soul? And I get it and I understand it. And I really appreciate it at the end of the day. So for me, I'm just on a different aspect now when it comes to spirit and or soul. And again, we allow our spirit to be penetrated by things that's beneath us, by things that don't mean nothing to us. And like I said, a lot of people willing to sell their soul for materialism. So once you do that, it's going to be hard to get back in a certain frequency or on a certain frequency, so to speak, when it comes to God or the Most High or Allah or the Elohim or Yahweh or Yahshua. That's why that saying is don't sell your soul. And again, okay, for the people that say, well, I ain't selling my soul for materialism. Okay, well, get your spirit right. Stop worrying about things that alters your spirit. People being upset for things that is out of their control anyway, but how somebody else see them. Like people look at me a certain way and they tell me ways they want to see me at. I don't care. As long as I'm seeing the way God need to see me, I'm grateful. Anything else don't mean nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Because as long as God see me the way I need to be seen, I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for that. I'm appreciative of that. Anything else? So what it mean to me? Nothing. I ain't concerned with that. So when you talk about protecting your spirit and or your soul, you just got to understand that it's not that simple. However, it's not that easy. Let me say that, but it's all probable. Like it can be done. You just got to put the work in. You know what I mean? It's like we put the work in to make sure that we look good. Or we put the work in to make sure our cars look good, or our homes look good, or our apartments look good, so on and so forth. There's nothing wrong with that. But what's wrong with putting in the work to make sure that we sing correctly in God's sight, so God can have us seeing ourselves in the best way possible from God's vision? That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of frequency I'm on. I want to be seen the way that God see me being for me. And if I'm not seen by nobody on the face of the earth, I don't care, because they can't certify me where their spirit and their soul is going to go when they're not on the planet no more. That's why death will always be the realest thing, because we don't know what's yet to come with that. And that's why majority, not everybody, majority of people fear that, because they don't know what's next. They're like, well, I don't know what's going to happen when I pass away. So we try to ignore that and not think about it. I think about it every day, because it's going to happen. Regardless if I know when or how, it's going to happen. So you know what? Let me get my soul and my spirit right, so my soul and my spirit could embrace this thing called death. Because right now I'm embracing the thing called life, and I'm thankful that I have life. However, if I can't embrace death, then how how am I going to be ready for it? And how am I still embracing life? I couldn't embrace life the way that I do at one point, and I'm thankful I'm doing that. So let me get prepared for what's next, which is death. And a lot of us want to avoid that. You know what I'm saying? We want to put things in the way of that. You can't block it, can't run from it. It's gonna be there. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. It's gonna be there. And you might not see it, you might not understand, you might not accept it, but it's there. So at the end of the world, I said at the end of the world, at the end of the day, excuse me, at the end of the day, you just got to understand that life is so valuable and we need to appreciate it more, because death is going to come. We don't know when or how. So you need your spirit and your soul to always be protected. And we all have a spirit and or soul. That's why we need to protect it. We cannot allow our spirit to be altered by things that's not spiritually guided and protected with us, let alone for us. Same thing with our soul. And that's what's important. And a lot of times we lose sight of that. We lose sight of that because we learn about other things. We learn about what family members say about us. We learn about how if we have kids, how we raise our kids up. If our kids like, well, you wasn't a good mother, you wasn't a good father, or you neglected me, you this or you that. It's like God didn't neglect nobody. However, we got to get our spirit and our souls together. That's important. Without that, nothing means nothing, because if your spirit and your soul ain't right, you could have been the greatest father in the world. You could have been the greatest mother in the world. You could have been the greatest provider in the world. You could have had all the money the world had to offer. But if your spirit and your soul ain't right, it means nothing to God. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Because like I said before, these things that mankind created, God created human beings. He created the universe. And money ain't had nothing to do with that. Clothes ain't had nothing to do with that. Cars ain't had nothing to do with that. Plants did, trees did. God created that. But we think because mankind is behind a lot, that we gotta let mankind alter our spirit and or our soul. Like I said, I'm learning that that's not accurate. That's not true. So whoever watched this on a playback, understand that. Whoever watching it now, understand that all you got is your spirit and your soul. if the things that we value while we living is so important, why we can't take none of those things with us then? If the money mean that much, why we can't take it with us? If the cars mean that much, why we can't take it with us? Why we pass away? If we marry, we can't take our spouses with us. We can't take our children with us. When we pass away, only thing we got is our spirit and our soul. Facts. That's all we got. So at the end of the day, why not put more emphasis on protecting that? Why not put more emphasis on doing the best we can to make sure that it's intact? Because those things that we worried about, this is my house, this is my car, this is my jewelry, these are my clothes. We can't take none of that with us. And even if we take it with us, it ain't literally going with us. So if you ain't getting cremated and you getting put in the casket, okay, you could pass away or die with the best clothes on your back. It ain't going with you. Your spirit and your soul is though. You can have on the finest jewelry, you can have cars, all that. You can't take it with you. And that's what I mean by the greatness of God. So that's why I'm thankful that my spirit and my soul is right now, because I understand that. So that's why them things mean nothing to me at all no more, because I can't take it with me. So how valuable really is it? I'm not saying it's not essential for us to live while we're living, but how valuable is it if we can't really take it with us? Our soul and our spirit has to go with us. That's a fact. Those other things don't, and they not. So at the end of the day, whoever watching this live stream right now or on the playback, understand that those things can't go with us. So no matter how much you want to argue with family, friends, co-workers about whatever you're arguing about, none of things will go with us. No matter what I think I learned about the economy or about the government or about sports or about cars. That's why I study about everything. But now I'm doing more studying about how to protect my spirit and my soul, because for a fact, the homework and the research that I'm doing, I know that if that's not protected, that's something possibly that can go with me when I pass away, my spirit and or my soul or both. But I know this for a fact. That jury can't go with me. Them cars can't go with me. How much I know about the NBA or the NFL or baseball, or how much I know about my cousin or my mom's, that can't go with me. But my spirit and my soul got to go with me. How much of a good or bad father I was, that don't hold the same bearings about my spirit and my soul going with me. God may forgive me and say, you didn't know how to be a good father. Or so what, you was a good father? Your spirit wasn't right, and you sold your soul. So you could be the best father or the best mother in the world, but you sold your soul for materialism and for riches. So now God may be like, you know what, now you still sold your soul though. You did a good job as a parent, but you sold your soul. I need your soul. I need your spirit. Now what you gonna do? So I'm learning that. So despite how good of a person I am or bad of a person I am, I can work on becoming a better person if I'm looked at as a bad person. But if my spirit and my soul ain't right, it don't even matter. It just don't even matter no more. What's gonna happen? So, at the end of the day, people, we gotta work on getting that together, and don't let nobody distract you by saying, "Oh, well, how we know this is real? How we know?" Like I said, the Most High or God or Elohim or Yahweh created the sun. That's not gonna be duplicated. And no matter where mankind or civilization try to go, ain't nobody saying we got a rocket and we trying to go to the sun, or we got a space shuttle and we trying to go to the sun, because they know that's impossible. They trying to go to other planets and possibly even the moon, but not the sun, because that's something that God created that you can't duplicate. That's unique in its own way. That's how I know God made every human being unique in their own way. That's how I learned that, because I'm doing research and I'm studying the sun. And if it is a planet or it is a star, it's the only planet or the only star that can't be duplicated, that can't be reached. And at the end of the day, I'm learning that about our soul and or our spirit. You know what I mean? And that's why it's important to protect that. So that's what the energy I wanted to bring today. That's the vibes I was on today. And that's what God or the Most High or the Elohim or Yahweh has told me to bring to my platform today. And that's why I did it. And I know this live stream may be a little bit awkward for some people, a little bit different for some people, because maybe some people not accustomed to me speaking the way I'm speaking and going in the way I'm going in about it. But I'm learning that at the end of the day. None of them things you could take with you, so it don't even matter. But as long as your spirit and your soul is right, you'll be fine. So I want to thank my mod as always, or my moderators as always. Carla checked in. I appreciate you, Frank and Queen, wherever you guys at. I hope you guys are blessed and safe. God bless you and your family. God bless everybody, family who tuned in to my live stream. I appreciate it. Malik Dawn, let me check who tapped in on my live stream. I had Malik in the building, and I had Carl and I had on back. So I want to thank everybody who tapped in to the live stream. May everybody have a safe, stress-free week, month, year, whatever's ahead. And since time I went up, just try to get to the right amount of rest. And remember, protect your spirit and or your soul, and try to listen to the whole video through and through so you can really get, you know, everything that you need to get together. I appreciate you, Carla. You know what I mean? And like I said, God bless everybody and their family and their loved ones. Just try to remember, guys, materialism, we can't take it with us. But our spirit and our soul is important. So no matter if you feel like you're a very bad person or you're a very good person, as long as you got your spirit and or your soul, God could work with that. I'm learning that. And remember, the sun is the only thing right now that's unable to be penetrated by mankind and or civilization. They're not trying to get to the sun. They're trying to get to the moon and all these other places, but not that sun. And that's outside of mankind. That's God's greatest creation. So I just wanted to leave everybody with that. And I want to thank everybody again for tuning in. May God watch. May God bless. It's been another live episode of Final Say. I'm your host, the Enlightened One, highly gifted, Dr. Wright, and I really enjoyed this. Everybody out there, protect your spirit and or your soul. God, the Elohim, the Most High, Yahweh, Yahshua, loves everybody. Peace, world.